Ну, ну да, просто вот то, что сдается, что вот то, что ты куда траванулся.
Давайте там, непонятно, выходили уже.
Перелази, говорю.
So, yeah, this happened today. That is Crocus City Hall on the outskirts of the capital of Russia, Moscow. According to the Russian authorities, 60 people were killed by these gunmen who are apparently affiliated with the Daesh, the Islamic State, whatever they call themselves. Of course, I am not going to tar the name of the beautiful religion of Islam by acting as if these people are somehow representative of that religion, but that's what they call themselves. So, yeah. It's always bad when, like, innocent people die. Like, politics tends to warp a lot of people's minds and, like, oh yeah, fuck you, you fucking orcs. Like, no, these are innocent fucking people. Innocent fucking people. And this is still like backlash from the Cold War. Like, why are the Islamists mad at Russia? Because well, first of all, the Soviet Union, okay? It wasn't just Russians. Like, whenever you hear boomers talk about the Soviet Union, oh yeah, the Russians were gonna blow us all up. No, there were dozens of ethnicities that comprised the USSR, and in Central Asia and the Caucasus, a lot of these people, the Kazakhs, the Georgians, the Chechens, the Dagestanis, all of these people were Muslim. And during the 80s, when the Soviet Union stupidly decided to invade Afghanistan, like, what thing you need to know about Afghanistan? You cannot invade that place. You cannot conquer, you cannot take over that place, okay? So they stupidly invaded Afghanistan to prop up a pro-Soviet government, and you just had the United States that were backing all of these mujahideen, all of these people that were coming from the Gulf. They were coming from Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Algeria, all over the world to come to Afghanistan and throw down with the Soviets. And the United States wanted to bloody the Soviet Union's nose, and they funded these people. They gave them Stinger missiles. They gave them all types of shit. And they did not put down the weapons. Okay, guys, we're done. Jihad over. No. They went back to their home countries, and they continued to carve bloody swaths throughout the world to this very day. So why did the Islamic State rise to prominence? Because the United States stupidly invaded Iraq and took out Saddam, who, by no stretch of the imagination, was a good progressive man. But they whacked Saddam. They left a big ass power vacuum. They left a tip-toe government that couldn't do what it was supposed to do and maintain stability. So you have all of these nutty ass groups that eventually coalesced into the Islamic State, and now apparently they've hit Russia. Of course, the Russians are going to try to blame the Ukrainians, but knowing what I do about the Ukrainian struggle, I don't think they would go to a fucking concert hall and just massacre innocent civilians. It does not do all that good of a service to their cause. So yeah, that's Moscow now. Still see a lot of cops, buses, cars abandoned. The building was on fire for a while. So yeah, there's firemen putting out the fire, but yeah, just chaos. It started in the lobby, so all these people are just milling around. I think the show was being put on by a group of people called Picnic, but that was no picnic. So yeah, it's always fucked up when innocent people suffer. Here's something that'll make you smile, though. This is a documentary about the People's Socialist Republic of Albania. Now, I'm a Maoist. I think Hacha was revisionist, but this is pretty cool.
And happy people are living by the sweat of their brow.
One thing you should know about Albania, like prior to the revolution, because I believe it was occupied by fascist Italy during World War II. So Hacha and his boys, they formed a guerrilla movement, and they were able to conquer power. And like Albania was poor as fuck. Okay, it was broke, didn't have anything. People couldn't fucking read. People couldn't do anything. So what they called socialism provided quite a few gains. Like if you know anything about Hacha, most leftists just consider him the bunker guy. So, but there were a lot of material gains that were made by the people of Albania under his leadership, of course. He was also fucking weird. If I recall correctly, he banned beards and did a bunch of other eccentric stuff. But what's a hardliner if not an eccentric? It is very weird that Daesh keeps attacking enemies of the U.S. As a matter of fact, the conspiracy theorists could be forgiven for saying that, maybe the U.S. uses ISIS as an attack dog.
For decades make an epoch for the wonderful transformations they brought about in the life of these people. Truly enough, the Albanian people call these years the years of real revival. The new epoch in Albania dawned from the barrel of the gun. The anti-fascist National Liberation War was a genuine people's struggle led by the party, a struggle waged by the people and for the people. It ended with the victory over the internal and external enemies. November 29, 1944, marks off a new page in the history of the Albanian people. The anti-fascist national liberation struggle ended in triumph. The Albanian people were faced with new battles to be fought for the transformation of the country. The first sparks of the light were the first victories of these people, 80% illiterate, but who cherished a strong desire in their hearts. In the first years, 1946 to 1948, the voluntary undertakings restored the ruins of war. Seaports, autoroutes were rebuilt, electric stations, the telephone network, the oil wells and extracting and processing industry started to function. In 1947, the first railway line, Durrës-Peqin, 44 kilometers long, was built. In January 1948, over 25,000 young men and young women concluded the second railway line, Durrës-Tiran, within 8 months. To this period,
Are there still remnants of the National Liberation Front in the Vietnamese government? The NLF was the Viet Cong. I mean, there might be people who served with the NLF in the Vietnamese government. Of course, they're going to be old as fuck. But, like, I don't know. I don't know all that much about the Vietnamese government. You should go ask Luna Oi.
period belongs also the land reform, the first revolution in the socio-economic relations in the countryside, which ended throughout Albania on the 17th of November 1946. For the first time, the principle, the land belongs to those who till it, became a reality through this reform. Since the first years, the socialist sector emerged, which is made of the property of all the people administered by the state and the cooperativist property. Along with the increase of the number of farm workers, a new social category emerged, the cooperativist peasantry. From 1950 to 1955, illiteracy, this grave social evil inherited from the past, was done away with once and for all. 190,000 illiterates up to 40 years of age learned to read and write. Every step a battle. Every battle marked off a victory. Within a short period of time, the economy of the country was restored.
Fascist Albanian leader Tevfik Mborja was forced to wash the bathrooms of workers for the rest of his life. Opinion on Alain Baudieu? I don't know. Never really read his work.
Albania ushered on the road of 5-year plans. This was the starting point of the industrialization and electrification of the country. During the first 5-year plan, 1951 to 1955, Albania was transformed from a backward agricultural country into an agricultural industrial one. The country assumed an industrial physiognomy, priority being given to heavy industry. In 1955, Albania turned out within 4 months and 10 days as much as it did for 12 months in 1950, or within 35 days, it turned out as much as it did in 12 months in 1938. The basis of modern industry were laid during this 5-year plan.
Fuck it, I'm done moving myself around. If it's one thing that communists are good at, like, we will teach you to fucking read and we will industrialize your country. Like, that's a given.
Collectivization of agriculture is a glorious page in the history of economic transformations. Agriculture was ushering onto the road of its intensification. From 1976 and on, Albania becomes self-reliant in bread grain.
Yay!
In 1983, over the entire wheat cultivated area, the average yield was 31 quintals per hectare, while in the plain areas, 45.8 quintals.
I love how, like, in old socialist documentaries, they always show people doing this backbreaking labor and they're always smiling. Like, if I'm bucking some wheat up into a combine, I'm not going to be fucking smiling. I'm going to be grimacing. Yes, I know I'm a soft, overfed American, but yeah.
At present, the Albanian people are living and working for the complete construction of the socialist society. It is the deed of the working masses led by the party. The newly molded man rises above all successes. He is the initiator of the great nationwide movements. The placing of the general
BRG will smile in the name of the People's Republic, or else what, you're gonna knock a gap in my teeth?
interest above that of the individual has become the motto of life throughout the country.
Do you think that we need to rethink the model of one-party state of the 20th century? Well, it depends. Like, all of this depends on practice. Like, I've never been one for, like, just, like, idle discussion. Like, we're only going to figure out what we need to do through actually doing it. Like, I mean, the one-party model, it's extremely efficient. It's extremely efficient because you don't have, like, rival parties that are never going to like you regardless of what you do, bogging down shit. But in a way, the argument can be made that these types of systems are undemocratic. So maybe there's a balance. I don't know. We haven't tried to construct socialism in the United States yet.
the socialist construction of the country is a bounteous source of initiatives and movements on a nation scale. Socialist solidarity is to mention only but one. Socialist solidarity has burst forth into a new powerful wave, especially in moments of natural calamities such as earthquakes.
Albania is a mountainous country, plus it like Italy has a bunch of volcanoes, so I imagine like whenever Italy pops off, I imagine Albania gets tremors and earthquakes too. So yeah, mountains tend to beget earthquakes.
All Albania has been close to the affected. The earthquake of April the 15th, 1979, the most tremendous to be remembered in this zone.
Why is it that in these documentaries there's always a shot of some clean-cut doctor-looking guy explaining farm equipment to rugged-looking workers? That's a good question. It kind of reminds me of that scene from Chernobyl when the Minister of Coal, wearing this like very clean, natty 80s style suit, shows up at a coal mine, and like all these grisly looking coal miners gather around him in his clean suit, and then like they all take turns patting him, and they're like, "There, now you look like Minister of Coal." God, communist tailoring was shit. Look at that. Look at that atrocious monstrosity. That's Enver Hoxha. Look at that atrocious monstrosity dude is wearing.
Within 5 months, a population of 100,000 inhabitants was rehoused, which is equal to the number of inhabitants of 2 big towns of Albania, Durrës and Vlora, taken together.
No, Hoxha did not have swag. He had many things. He had many bunkers, but swag he did not possess. Hey, I've got a hat like that. Yes, I agree. Tito was the dripful one. That's why Hoxha hated Tito so much, because Tito had all the drip and he didn't give poor little sheep shitty Albania any.
Transformations in the field of education and culture made headway since the education reform in the first years of the reconstruction of the country. The state ensured all the strata of the people of attending schools and other cultural institutions free of charge.
Who here has paid off their student loan debt? I haven't.
Before liberation, Albania was the only country in Europe without a university. Now it has a complete educational system. In September 1957,
I avoided student loan debt by staying stupid. When I start making and selling merch, I'm going to put that on there.
State University of Tirana was founded. The University of Tirana trains specialists for 68 professions. The Academy of Sciences, founded in 1972, is the highest scientific institution of the country.
Ooh.
The government of the People's Socialist Republic of Albania maintains diplomatic relations with more than 100 countries. Culture, literature and arts have assumed a mass character in Albania. They are undergoing an all-round qualitative change. Our literature and arts are permeated by a sound national spirit.
Siri P. Newton had a lot of ideological picadillos, but I don't want to be haunted by the image of Hotch-eyed Huey. That's almost as bad as Gonzalo-eyed Huey. Cocaine and fringe political ideologies don't mix.
The Albanian art and culture rely on the national soil, on the people. The Museum of National History and the National Museum of Skanderbeg, dedicated to the national hero George Kestra Skanderbeg and the struggles of the Albanian people in the defense of their land.
I'm amazed at how like modern all this stuff looks. Like my previous impression of Albania was that it was like just shitty, everything's old, it's fucked up, but like this actually looks like a pretty dope place to live, especially when you consider where they came from. Bad Empanada has a great video essay on Gonzalo and the Shining Path. No, he doesn't. That's a horrible video. That is a horrible. Why would you recommend that? Why would you recommend that? Why are you fucking up people's heads?
Today, Albania is a country where medical service is free of charge for all. A real revolution has been carried out in this field.
Would I stream about the Shining Path and Chairman Gonzalo just to piss the Gonzaloites off? The Gonzaloites would be pissed off if you gave them a bouquet of roses.
Network of health institutions has been extended, and it has further improved along with other measures for the protection of the health of the people. We started to speak of an Albanian science only after liberation. The all-round development of the country needed the organization and development of the scientific work. In January 1948, the Institute of Sciences was founded. In the same year, the Archaeological Ethnographic Museum.
The Shining Path is an omnipresent communist discourse. It's omnipresent in shitty corners of the internet. If you find yourself in shitty corners of the internet where the Shining Path is the main topic of discussion, you've gone to a place where you don't have any business going. Normal people don't just sit around and talk about the fucking Shining Path.
And the Museum of National Sciences were founded, thus laying the basis for the coming cultural and scientific activity. Science and technology emerged and were further consolidated.
Oh my God, they have computers.
Consolidated as such along the entire activity of Albanian life. Electrification is the work of the years of socialist construction. At the beginning of the 50s, Albania had only 14 small electric power stations. 5 years later, its production increased fourfold.
Wow, it's amazing the wonders you can accomplish when you have central planning and not a bunch of fucking feuding bureaucratic departments and private industries.
The construction of the hydropower station on Mat River marked the most important step towards the development of this industry. In the 60s, the first bases were laid for the unified electric power system.
I'm convinced Eastern Europe isn't fully developed. Oh, wow. What gave you that impression? You must have been there. No shit.
And the production of electricity increased 2.5 times as against 1955. On the 25th of October 1970, Albania, the country which was lit by the torch and the candle for centuries, was completely electrified. The leader of the Albanian people, Comrade Enver Hoxha, has said, "This was a brilliant and truly historic victory of our socialist order, another testimony to the ceaseless care of the party and the people's power for the all-round emancipation and development of our cooperativist peasantry."
Yeah, man, whatever the fuck that means.
Since 1972, Albania has become an exporter of electric power.
Definitely not to Yugoslavia.
In 1982, as against 1960, the power industry increased its production about 18 times.
That's pretty impressive development for a country shaped like a fat turd.
Albania is looking forward to its National Day, the 40th anniversary of the liberation of the country and the triumph of the People's Revolution, with new qualitative achievements in all fields of life. Socialist Albania is the only country in the world which is making forward without any foreign aids or loans. There is no unemployment, inflation, taxes or levies in Albania.
No taxes? A libertarian's paradise?
This is the steel of the party metallurgical combine. It laid the foundation.
It's impressive how much Albania got down given that it was surrounded by enemies. I mean, yeah, stubbornness is a key human trait. And being stubborn gets you shit. Same thing with Cuba. Cuba was resolved not to collapse and be a puppet of Yankee imperialism again, so they've continued to exist just to do that.
For the complex processing of ferrous and non-ferrous metals. Steel production of Albanian brand gave a new impetus to the engineering industry and prepared the ground for the setting up of a new branch, the machine building industry, which is the heart of socialist industrialization.
Based. That inspired me to play Tropico. I said it was going to be a Tropico night. Let's see if I can create the Albania of the Caribbean.
This is
I'm going to try to make it to the modern age without taking out any fucking loans. This is the intensive oil processing plant. Yeah. Yeah, it could definitely have done with better music. That, whatever the fuck that was, that's put your ass to sleep music. Where are the gulags? You're gonna find out where the gulags are if you call me fucking RBG again. Have you played Workers and Resources Soviet Republic? Yes, I have, and I hate it. Why does everybody ask me have I played that shitty game?
The people of Tropical love you almost as much as I do. Feisty little colony.
Yes, I did watch Death of Stalin. It's funny as fuck. Is it historically accurate? No. Is it funny as fuck? Yes.
Viva la revolution! Together.
Well, at least my people love me. That's all that communists should care about, right?
I ask myself, Governor.
Zero homeless people, zero unemployed people. Welcome to socialism. And we're keeping expenses down because I'm not building all over the place like I usually do. It's not that hard to manage in a socialist economy. Socialist austerity benefits all. I'm just going to sit here and quietly stack my money and wait for the crown soldiers to invade. How many islands we got? Okay.
Well, I suppose you did rather well. My heart swells with joy as I
Good.
greet my fearless leader for the first time as El Presidente.
This is the voice of Tropico saying, it's a Canal Uno kind of day.
One homeless person. Socialism is a failed ideology. Well, at least we're failing upwards, eh?
Quick, Presidente.
I don't want to get involved in any white people's wars.
Excuse me, Presidente.
No, I'm not inviting Nazis to my fucking embassy.
Presidente, the work?
Yes, Che Guevara knockoff dude. Because like the mechanics of workers and peasants is just fucking clunky and shitty, and I just don't like it. It's not my vibe. I do not vibe with workers. Like you could tell it was made of some Eastern European shithole. That's why I don't like it.
Excuse me, Presidente. I have a little time.
I don't work for fucking Nazis.
I had the nightmare again. Presidente, your aid. Canal Uno. More than just El Presidente's favorite radio station. What does that say? Love. We love El Presidente with all our hearts.
Need your help, President. Our comrades read. Aren't you tired of... Aren't you tired of life?
Need to pick a different island. That fucking island was stagnant. There we go. I don't want an archipelago this time. Oh. Shacks surrounding my palace. I should do a joke playthrough. Do I look like a joke to you? Do I look like I fucking wearing Motley in my game to you, bro? I'm a serious man. I do serious things. I'm very important. That's what socialism is to you, buddy. A joke. Little funny game. I'm not gaming, Potato. I'm practicing. Y'all want me to play a fucking game that was made in Slovakia?
It's nice to have choices.
I'm boycotting everything that comes from Eastern Europe because they produce Slavoj Žižek. I will play no game made in Eastern Europe until they rectify this blight on humanity that they've caused. That is my principled Marxist-Leninist Maoist position, and I'm sticking to it. $96 unemployed citizens. Let's put these motherfuckers to work. Damn. Let's build some more plantations. Wait, Tropico is an Eastern European game? I thought it was like Finnish or something.
Is sore I've got.
I'm sick of these people and all their fucking demands. I just need to start I wish I could just have people executed. Wait, I can. Yeah, cows.
I must say I'm glad to...
When you're banned in tropical president, she sent you to live in a fucking bunkhouse by the tannery. You have two choices. You can either
does not feel quite right.
you have two choices. You can either live by the tannery or you can get executed. Never say I'm not a just lord.
Excuse me, old sport. I...
Because you haven't moved to St. Louis and helped me take power, Drake. I can't do it all by myself. I know how fond you are of seeing nooses around black men's necks, but I'm not. I'm playing the video game in STL. Is that not enough for you? When is the People's Republic of Indiana going to be established? Yes, make you do all the work so you know how it feels. No, Drake, I actually don't want you to move to STL. There's only room for one flamboyant gay Maoist in this town, and that's me. I'm not letting you take my job. Drake actually had a crush on me several years ago, but not anymore. He's moved on to greener pastures. No, I don't really go for Germans. I'm sorry. Too big, y'all eat weird food, and you all have a very unattractive affinity to fascism that I don't like personally. There's one thing you need to know about European geopolitics is that a Germany divided is good Germany. Germany has no business being unified. I don't know what Drake is into. I heard they fuck cows in Indiana. Maybe that's what he's into. I don't know. I look into people fucking cows. No, I prefer to leave bestiality to the white people. The fuck do I look like?
La revolution. Together.
Who the fuck do I look like? Vosh? Yuck. I don't have red hair, Drake. If I had an afro, I guess I would kind of look like Walter Rodney, but nah. You're the pasty one. I don't know. Do you know many black people named Drake Berkman?
I ask myself, Governor, do the ends justify being mean?
The rapper Drake is named Aubrey Graham. There's really not all that many black people walking around with German names. Germans came a little too late to the country to have slaves. Hey, look, I'm building a ranch with sheep so that Drake won't be lonely. I'm referring to your last name, but yes. Well, Drake's mom is white, the rapper. So, yeah. Why are we talking about Drake? A lot of Jewish names actually double as German names.
Well, you did the right thing, which is what.
Good, nobody's unemployed.
It's nice to have choices.
Pro tip in this game, don't like build a bunch of buildings early on, because what's going to happen is,
Aren't you tired of?
for one, you'll go bankrupt really fast. And for two, you won't have anybody to work in the buildings because you employ all your people. Who's going to come work for you in the new buildings that you're building? Just a pro tip. No, Drake is not from Illinois. Drake is a demon from hell summoned to torment me.
The people of Tropical love you almost as much. Excellent. My heart swells with joy as I greet my fearless leader for the first time as El Presidente.
Don't touch that dial. It's got Canal Uno all over it.
Why does a textile factory look like a fucking Victorian workhouse? I'm so glad I have comrades that have to go to work in the morning and they don't sleep. They choose instead to come on my stream and harass me. I love communism and I love communists.
Let's face it, it's better to be... Quick, Presidente, we must choose a...
Yes, nickel. I can make weapons. What good is a socialist country without weapons? Fuck off. Yeah, let's just take apart safety regulations for the Teamsters. You fuckers are gonna work. Fuck safety. If you lose a limb, go to the workhouse. We kicking it old school. Oh, my capital looks like... My capital is fucking barren. What good is a socialist country without big-ass vanity projects? I need a golden statue of myself.
Presidente, there is a the best defense is a...
I wonder why nobody wants to come immigrate to my shithole island.
Remember, loose lips might sink ships, so tighten your lips with a Tropican-made spanner. You won't regret it.
There we go. Now we're making some money. Once I got those lazy-ass Teamsters off their asses, mountains have been scaled and heaven has been stormed. I have liberated the productive forces. Now we can build vanity projects. Like a big-ass theater. Nah, I think I actually should build some better quality housing. Everybody lives in bunk houses. I have 2 apartment blocks.
I sometimes wonder about your final confession, Presidente.
There you go. You want more apartments? You gotta get out my fucking exports. There you go.
A good deed, President. I was shit talking to his face.
Presidente.
The communists want me to build a police station. I guess ACAB stands for all communists are bastards, huh? Class traitors, all of you.
Rockets, the newest threat raining death from the skies. The palace assures all its citizens that no country thinks Tropico is worth sending rockets against.
Remember the story of the man who built his house.
With
What is the story with me and Drake? No, we've just been communists for a long time. We moved in the same, like, weird-ass circles. But no, we've actually never met in real life, no. All right, that's boring, man. Let's see what else happened on Twitter today.
The intensive oil processing plant.
AOC finally said the G word.
Million innocent.
So people were rightfully criticizing Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, the DSA member and Democratic representative from the 14th District of New York, because she, for whatever reason, does not feel compelled to label what's been happening in Gaza as a genocide. But she finally said the word today, only a couple days after Alex Jones said it. So can we claim that AOC is to the right of Alex Jones? No, but kind of dinks your doink, doesn't it?
In Gaza are at famine's door. A famine that is.
And this is too little too late. Like, you're giving a speech to an empty House chamber. Like, you're supposed to be the tribune of the people, okay? Like, I don't have any problems with socialist elected officials. Hell, I might even be one day. But the thing is, you have to be a tribute of the people. Like, you have to be to the left of all these people. You cannot play their game on their terms. Should we play the political game? Yes, but we have to remember that power is conquered. It's not something that's given. It's not something that's built. Power is taken, because in this world, nobody is giving power away on a silver platter. So we have to play their game. We have to be as ruthless as they are in the service of the international proletariat. Like, we cannot just be focused on keeping our seats, because when you're focused on keeping your seat, you don't say anything that's not safe. You don't say anything that rankles the Democratic establishment. Like, you still see that she has D before her name. We need C for communist.
Being intentionally precipitated through the blocking of food and global humanitarian assistance by leaders in the Israeli government. This is a mass starvation of people, engineered and orchestrated, following the killing of another 30,000, 70% of whom were women and children killed. If you want to know what an unfolding genocide looks like, open your eyes.
Honestly, I think that she's only saying this because those LaRouchites ran up to her and her husband when they were at the movie theater, and they ran them out of the movie theater. I mean, that's what it takes. It's a shame that it's LaRouchites that did it instead of fellow DSA members, but hey, whatever works. Am I giving the LaRouchites props? No. But yeah, we should not be afraid to confront politicians, so-called socialists or no.
It looks like the forced famine of 1.1 million innocents. It looks like thousands of children eating grass as their bodies consume themselves, while trucks of food are slowed and halted just miles away.
Who's slowing and halting them, though, AOC?
It looks like good and decent people who do nothing. Or too
Like you? A good and decent person that does nothing?
little. Too late. It is against United States law to provide weapons to forces who block United States humanitarian assistance. And that is exactly what is happening right now. So much so that the president himself stated during the State of the Union that the United States must and will be building its own
Yeah. So, Kyle Rittenhouse got ran out of Memphis yesterday. Honestly, if you're a fascist, white nationalist, or whatever, why the fuck would you go and try to give a talk at a university in a city that's 61.2% black? Like, you basically asked for that, bro. You think your guide dog that you've trained to hate black people was going to attack them or something? They talked about Fergie again. They call him the bankroller of Cop City protests. That is a dope-ass image, yo. They actually called him, like, basically sharing the politics of Mao Zedong. Fergie, I consider a rightist, but he's still a pretty alright dude. I'm learning to make friends with all types. This is more from Moscow. That's a harrowing and shocking image. Beautiful floor, though. I don't see how you can just like go in and calmly just gun people down. This is making the rounds again. Always makes me cheer. The majority of present-day Marxist-Leninists are nothing more than spicy Khrushchevites. It takes a special type of cognitive inability to refuse to learn about revisionist tendencies within our current era. What happened in Moscow, like 60 people were killed in a mass shooting. This is from earlier. It's up to 60 now. At least 40 people have been killed after gunmen attacked a packed concert venue on the outskirts of Moscow, Russian intelligence said. More than 100 were hurt, and then they set the building on fire. And, of course, Daesh, ISIS, claimed responsibility for it, but I think the Russians are low-key trying to blame the Ukrainians. That's still a matter of debate. Great proletarian cultural revolution era China was the most democratic society humanity has ever seen. Protests against Vice President Kamala Harris in Puerto Rico were underway. They took down the U.S. flag and they put up Puerto Rican, Haitian, and Palestinian flags based. Remember that video I showed you the other night of the cops in Gwinnett County, Georgia, hunting that dude with dogs and helicopters? Well, it turns out this is what they were after him for, $108 worth of merchandise. The merchandise that they were hunting this dude like a runaway slave for includes a Doritos can, Breyers ice cream, an ice straw slice, a Quish slide, 2 men's V-neck shirts, a beanie, and a backpack. So these are survival needs. This isn't like a fucking professional shoplifter, okay? And much is being made about this Netflix original 3 Body Problem. It's based on a Chinese novel. So this is what they think a struggle session looked like. I basically throw this dude down and kick him to death. He's a physics professor. Honestly, if you fuck with physics, honestly, I think you need to be like beaten to death because I hate physics. I was in AP physics in high school for like 1 day. So yeah, they play up the violent aspects of the Cultural Revolution. And yeah, shit like that happened, but like Mao did not support that. Okay, he opposed it. The Great Proletarian Cultural Revolution was not intended to be violent. It was intended to be a cultural revolution. And like he literally lambasted Red Guards who did shit like that, like beat people to death. So Mao said that I'm issuing a nationwide notice. If anyone continues to oppose, fight the Liberation Army, destroy means of transportation, kill folks, or set fires, he is committing crimes. Those few who turn a deaf ear to persuasion and persist in their behavior are bandits or Kuomintang elements subject to capture. If they continue to resist, they will be annihilated. So Mao was not a fan of violence against Chinese people during the Cultural Revolution. My Attorney General, Andrew Bailey, is showing his ass. He's picking a fight over diversity, equity, and inclusion programs because a girl that may or may not be white was beaten up. She was bullied. It's definitely a sick, fucked up scene. I remember my coworker actually put out her phone and showed me this. She went to Hazelwood East. It's in North County. And, like, the Attorney General is using this atrocious, brutal situation. Like, they basically smashed this girl's head into the pavement. And news says that video of the fight shows a girl who appears to be black smashing the head of Kaylee, who appears to be white, into the pavement repeatedly during a large brawl. Kaylee suffered brain bleeding and swelling and remains unconscious this week. This was a couple weeks ago, so yeah, she's all fucked up. So Moon Boy here thinks that this is because black people have taken over the Hazelwood School District. So he's making a big fucking stink about it. He's talking about more school resource officers, more cops in the schools, and he's also demanding complaints and feedback about the district's diversity, equity, and inclusion action plan. So this guy's basically a cuck for libs of TikTok and the right wing. But these people have like conquered power. They've conquered power from the insipid Democrats that are now waging a cultural revolution, a reactionary cultural revolution, and fucking with people at school. Oh, yeah. Show me a video in your phone that has your energy, not a selfie, a video. That banger encapsulates BRG's energy. I will always remember the time Malcolm X called out Nietzsche, Schopenhauer, and Kant in his autobiography and said they weren't on shit. This is what Malcolm X said about all these philosophers that white people on the internet love. Malcolm said, Schopenhauer, Kant, Nietzsche. Naturally, I read all of those. I don't respect them. I'm just trying to remember some of those whose theories I soaked up in those years. These three, it said, laid the groundwork on which the fascist and Nazi philosophy was built. I don't respect them because it seems to me that most of their time was spent arguing about things that are not really important. Why are you listening to Jordan Peterson? Why are you listening to Destiny? You should be listening to me. It reminds me of so many of the Negro intellectuals, so-called. Most of their time was spent arguing about things that are not really important. They are always arguing about something useless. Malcolm, once again proving that he's the GOAT. Bah. What would I do to contribute on a commune? Whatever the people tell me to do. Like, Huey said that communists are oxen, horses, to be ridden by the people. So whatever the masses tell me to do, that's what I'm going to do. Why? Because I'm a communist. Candace Owens got fired. Why? Because of stupid shit that she said. Well, actually, yeah. I mean, all she does is say stupid shit. But she said stupid shit from the perspective of the Zionists, and she got shit canned. After getting fired today, my bank account is going to be dry for a while, but not as dry as Ben's wife. So, yeah.
CEO Jeremy Boring announced that
Candace Owens, peddler of anti-Semitism.
Unrepentant anti-Semite Candace Owens will no longer be working at the company. This morning he issued a simple post saying only Daily Wire and Candace Owens have anti-Semitic trash that she's been saying for a very long time now. You don't need to take my word for it. Here's a montage of some of her most heinous remarks.
Honestly, I've never listened to Candace Owens, but yeah, this is obviously going to be stupid shit. Let's see.
You will not enjoy.
Like, I've never sat down and listened to her. I listened to her from a, react perspective because some of my coworkers like her. But anyways.
When you think about, whenever we say nationalism, the first thing people think about, at least in America, is Hitler. You know, he was a National Socialist, but if Hitler just wanted to make Germany great and have things run well, okay, fine. The problem is that
that's anti-Semitic.
That he had dreams outside of Germany.
I'm a bit sleepy tonight, but when I wake up, I'm going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. If you are an honest person, you did not think this tweet was anti-Semitic. You did not think...
He literally said DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. Yes, you, a reasonable person, would think that that's anti-Semitic. Kanye did need to be punished for that.
I think that he wrote this tweet because he hates or wants to genocide Jewish people. Imagine if the Bloods and the Crips were doing horrific things, murdering people, controlling people with blackmail. And then every time a person spoke out about it, the Bloods and the Crips would call those people racist, would get the media to say those people were racist. But what if that...
What?
That is what is happening right now in Hollywood, if there is just a very small ring of specific people who are using the fact that they are Jewish to shield themselves from any criticism. It's food for thought, right? And I think, again, there have been enough people that are speaking out about a ring in Hollywood, also a ring potentially in DC.
Yeah, that's anti-Semitic. It's conspiracy theory bullshit.
At what point, as a Jewish person in Hollywood, do I get invited into these secret rings? Liked.
Feed. We have to stand. Go on. Where's the truth?
Oh, fuck off, Moon Boy. How's your presidential campaign going? I'm just going to start calling stupid motherfuckers Moon Boy. But yeah, Candace Owens is an idiot. She's been saying stupid shit for a long time. And when you lay down with crackers, you get up with crumbs. So she deserves to suffer. She's done tangible harm to black people and oppressed people all over the world. And yeah, the shit that she says is anti-Semitic. So, fuck her. Last week at the Oscars, LAPD used their crossbow tactic to violently arrest J-Town Action and PCC member Steven. Since the pigs deployed the crossbow regularly to target protesters, we felt the need for people on the ground to be aware of it so we could keep each other safe. That's cool. I'm always down for a tactical discussion. The crossbow tactic has been used at major protests from Fairfax to Echo Park Lake. LAPD deploys it to target anyone they believe to be leaders and or doing unlawful activity. Their goal is to destabilize actions and maximize psychological and physical trauma. Sounds like pigs. So what's the crossbow tactic? So they form up like a crossbow to do these things: conduct a rescue, effect an arrest, encircle a group, or quickly secure ground abandoned by a rioting crowd. Communists can use these methods too, by the way. Now, we can take their tactical formations and use them against them. So, how's your formation look? So, ensure sufficient assets are deployed to accomplish the mission and form up. Column of twos, squad column, the basic formation used when traveling from one point to another. Largest officers up front for psychological effect. Linebackers to the rear. Batons at port arms or rung in the holstered position in skirmish line. The basic formation used in the movement of the crowd. Linebackers behind the line controlling the integrity of the line. Squad leader behind the line issuing instructions. Batons at chambered, long, extended ready position. T formation, 2 squads. Skirmish line with column of 2 behind. So this is the crossbow. So they developed this from the crowd control protocols of the U.S. military. From the Middle East to LA, these tactics are used to crush dissent against American imperialism. This is what we mean when we say that every struggle is interconnected. So you got the skirmish line back here. This is the arresting team. This is the back of the arrow that supports the arrest. So they're all moving forward like that. So they open up this line here, and they have them moves through here. That's step 2. So they open up their line. They move through the skirmish line. They're forming up like this. And it's like a bolt being fired from a crossbow. So you got this, then and then they do whatever they want to do. So we can use that ourselves to fuck fascists up. It's interesting. Study tactics. Should black people rep the American flag?
Proud of this country. Should black people in the United States
Hey, I'm watching myself.
be proud of this country that we were forced to build? And should we rep the American flag? The answer to both of those questions is absolutely fucking not. Absolutely not. Like, I don't know what brain worms you people have picked up from eating undercooked meat, but there is no reason for a descendant of people who were enslaved, lynched, tortured, and went through all types of hell under this flag to die on this country's hill. Honestly. Like, y'all are falling on your swords for a country that doesn't give a shit about you. Like, all of these Adolf's people, like, why the fuck would you identify as an American descendant of slaves? Like, why would you identify yourself with slavery? When we were taken from Africa, we were taken as blacksmiths, warriors, griots, nobles, all different segments of society. Like, that's what we should identify with. And y'all don't want anything to do with Africa. Y'all don't want anything to do with the richest continent on the face of the earth. Y'all don't want anything to do with your birthright that is currently being carved up by American, European, Chinese, and Japanese investors. Like, what is wrong with you people? Honestly. Like, y'all, like, Beyonce, Jay-Z, Lil Wayne, these people are not ideological and political leaders of the black community. Like, what other people, what other nation of people allows comedians and singers and athletes to speak for them.
She thinks they're amusing.
You should not base your political beliefs around these people. You should base your political beliefs around what's actually happening. Your knowledge of our history, your knowledge of our struggle in this country. Y'all are actually falling right into the reactionary, white supremacist Trump bullshit. These people don't care about you. These people hate you. These people would literally deport you to Africa on a leaky boat. But you, because you don't know how to do politics very well, you fall for it. You're a political football. You're kicked here and there, hither and yon, because you don't study. You don't read. You get your political education from 30-second sound bites, and you're like an attack dog. Anybody that the white man points at, you go and bite. How about you bite him? Like he's the one that's making your life a living hell. Migrants from Guatemala and Honduras that are making your life a living hell, those people are in a worse boat than we are. Africans and Jamaicans and Trinidadians that are making your life a living hell, those people are worse off than we are. And instead of joining in solidarity with them, as Malcolm X told us, you want to attack them. You want to join the military. You want to go and bomb Niger because the white man wants you to. And you wonder why we're not taken seriously politically. Because you don't think. You don't read. You don't study. You don't talk to people from other countries. You just let these people fill your heads with whatever reactionary bullshit that they want to, and you believe it. You're going to go and vote for Trump because he gave you a stimmy. You're going to go and vote for Trump because he let Kodak Black out of prison. Think, y'all. Honestly. Otherwise, we're cooked. And I don't know about you, but I ain't being served up with the fucking apple in my mouth.
That's my take on the whole American flag discourse. Happy birthday, Walter Rodney. Good night.